welcome back to another episode of Life Talk with Shell. If this is your first time viewing our channel, thank you so much and welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. So, last week we talked about people, and I talked about um, um, toxic people in your life, people who do not mean you any good, people who don't celebrate you, people who tear you down. I talked about those type of people. And if you have not yet saw that video, it's last week and it's entitled People and it says, Who are your people? But today I want to talk about you. I want to know, are you one of those people that I talked about last week? Are you toxic and maybe not know it, maybe not care, or are you on your way to being one of those people? So I just kind of want to have my paper here because I want to kind of focus on a certain group of people. So the first group of people I want to focus on and to see if that's you in this category are complaining people. And I talked about how last week I talked about how people can suck the life right out of you. Complaining people do that. Nothing is ever right with them. They complain about the sun, the moon, the rain, the snow, the sleet, whatever, the wind. They just complain about every single thing. So if you are one of those people that complain about everything, I want to know, and you can ask yourself this: why do I complain about everything? Why is everything always negative? And maybe, you know what, maybe you don't know that that's who you are. You ought to spend time with maybe recording yourself when you're having conversations and see how many times you complain about something. Or you know what, if your skin is thick, ask your friends, am I a complaining person? Because that's not who I'm trying to be. But if that's me, I really would like to change. I would think that if you wake up in the morning and nothing positive is in your mind, then I would kind of write down whatever is in my mind that's negative. And then on the other side of the paper, write down the things that will make that positive. And then just try to not complain all day. And then, because you would notice that people who complain they're not, bubbly, happy people. It's like, hey, oh girl, what's wrong? How you doing? Oh, I'm fine, but this back is giving me problems, or those kids and my husband and girl, my mama, all the time. Reevaluate yourself, because you're probably on the verge of becoming one of those people I was talking about last week. The second group of people is judgmental people. Now, this is a fine line, because you have judgmental people, opinionated people, whatever, and there are people who love you, and they're just giving their advice, but sometimes the tone that they give it in appears judgmental. Now, sometimes it really is judgmental, but if you are delivering information to a loved one or somebody, check your tone. I had to do the same thing, because I'm matter of fact sometimes, and I'll kind of say different things, but because I have been involved in what I felt was judgmental relationships, or been around people who were very judgmental, I try to make sure that's not where my conversation is going. So if somebody called me and asked me for my advice on something, or share something with me, and I have an idea about it, or something to say to make them look at it in a different perspective, I really check myself, and then I may follow that with a listen. I'm not trying to, sound judgmental, so I'm hoping that I'm not. I follow that up because it's very important to me not to become that person. So if you know that you are the person that every time somebody has something to say, you always got something to say. You always have a negative comment, or something that just like, oh well, uh, that's a good idea, but I don't think it's gonna work, and you don't even have any money for that. All of that. You're just judgmental. You just everything they do. You have to approve it, and if it's not what you would have done, or if it's not in your standards, then it has to be wrong. So if that's the type of person that you are, I would evaluate myself and to see why I feel like I'm the standard of everything. Because when you judge something, you're really saying I'm the standard. So if you're not doing it, the way I do it, then it's wrong. So if that is indeed you, or almost you, then just kind of tweak some things, and it, and just turn your personality. Not saying that you can't keep your realness, because that's usually what people who are like that would say. I'm just real. If they don't like it, yeah, you can still be real, but you don't have to be judging while you're being real. You know what I'm saying? So again, if that's kind of where you are, then maybe you should look into, like I said, self evaluating yourself, and checking your tone, and then just going by and just really being honest with yourself, and seeing if that's what you're doing. The next type of person you might be is selfish. Are you a selfish person? Are you the selfish one in your circle? Is it all about you? Are you not considerate of anybody else's feelings, anybody else's time, anybody else's money? Just selfish. Because if you are a selfish person, you're not a good person to be around either. Because if you're selfish, I will never feel like you have my back, because everything is about you. And again, I'm talking to the people who are on the verge of being the people that I was talking about last week. If you can look at yourself and say, you know what, yeah, I am kind of selfish. I should try to, tweak that, give more, or just be considerate of others. Because who wants to be around a selfish person? No one does. And if you wonder why you don't, if you're fitting into these categories of being selfish, judgmental, or complaining, even just arrogant people, or just whatever. If you're on the verge of being these, I was about to throw this paper away, but I have some notes on there. If you're on the verge of being these type of people, then I would ask you to ask Jesus to help you in these areas. That you don't want to be that kind of person. If you're looking at and your friend list is dwindling down, and people are not calling you as much as they were, or they're not valuing your opinion as much as they were, you should try to look to see if you are displaying any of these attributes or characteristics. I had talked about Jonathan McReynolds' song People on last week. Now, the part of his song that is very important, I think that people need to hear, because what happens is, we all have heard the saying, if you haven't, is hurt people hurt people. And that is so true. When you are a victim of pain, or hurt, or abuse, or things like that, then sometimes you can put those things on other people, and sometimes you don't really know that's what you're doing. But because you have not tapped into your soul and done the work on yourself to figure out what's really going on in the inside of you that's making this stuff come out, you're going to always put that on other people. So if someone hurt you as far as violating your trust, or or just broke your heart, or whatever the case may be, then your defense mechanism may be to hurt people before they hurt you. So Jonathan McReynolds at the end of that song, People, when he's going on, he says, the hurt or hurting, which is what is exactly what I said. Hurt people hurt people. I'm already hurt, so I'm gonna inflict this on you too. Okay? And then he says, the broken are breaking. You know, and that's kind of twofold. You're broken, so you're already breaking, but then you're breaking other people with your brokenness because you haven't healed completely and properly. Then you are breaking people with your brokenness. And this is any kind of people, the people you work with, your spouse, your friends, your children. You're breaking them because you're broken. You're hurting them because you're hurt. And until you do the work, it's just going to be a cycle. And the last one is, he says, and the ones who had their joy taken away are out here taken away from these people, from other people. So if you don't have any joy and you don't have any happiness and you don't have anything to live for, you don't want nobody to do it. So you're just robbing joy from people, robbing, peace from people. It is very important that you do the work on yourself. If any of these things that I'm talking about, describes you and sometimes how you are, because let me say this. Sometimes we are like that, and we're not trying to be, and we're like that, maybe, one day or whatever. I'm not talking about those people. Like you had a bad day and you just, taking everything out on these people because you had one bad day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people who have a bad day every day. They're taking out their frustrations. They're taking out their hurt. They're taking their brokenness. They're taking all of their joy that they lost out on everyone else. If that is you, please stop. Please stop and do the work on yourself so that you won't be these people that are out here hurting other people. And then, it will not only benefit the other people in the world, in your circle, it will benefit you. You will be so much happier and have so much peace if you would just take the time to do the work on the negativity that is, living inside of you, so that you won't become a toxic person to be around. It's very, very important. We all have work to do on ourselves. No one is perfect. Like I said last week, even Jonathan says at the beginning of this, at the end of the song, please forgive me when I'm one of those people. We all have to work on ourselves. But if this is a major characteristic for you, if you 100% complain all the time, always mad all the time, hurting people, stealing their joy, breaking them because you're broken, please seek some type of help, like, talk therapy, go to some counseling with your pastor. Do something to rid that stuff that's in you. Okay, that's really all that I wanted to say to you guys today. I wanted to do a part 2 to the people video, just so that I can get it on the other side. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm very, very thankful for you tuning in. I hope you had a great weekend last weekend, and that this weekend will be even better. As always, I ask that you would like the video, share the video, send me a comment, let me know that you what you thought about the video, and most importantly, please subscribe to the channel. I upload videos every week, so that you won't miss out. Hit the little bell when you subscribe, and it will let you know when the video is ready to watch. Yay! So again, have a good weekend. Thank you guys so much. Be blessed, be wonderful, be you.